Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com, and today we're going to talk about my most powerful tool on how to win negotiation, but it also applies to a narcissist. So we'll call it my most powerful secret on how to end narcissist abuse, okay? So the number one most powerful thing you can do to a narcissist, and if you do it right, it hurts them. But here's the thing, you don't have to do it with any intention of hurting them. It's literally like taking the rug that they're standing on and pulling it really fast, and they flip backwards and they crack their head on the back of the floor, right? It's equivalent to that, but here's the thing. You don't actually do anything to be mean at all, okay? And the thing is, when I did it, I actually didn't mean to hurt them. But it causes a narcissistic abuse, but you didn't do anything wrong at all, right? So here's what it is. It's the power of walking away, okay? So I remember, I believe it was a Tony Robbins seminar. It might have been a book I read. Might have been The Art of War. I don't remember what it was. But here's what it is. It has to do with negotiation, and I applied it effectively to I was in college, and we were competing against an argument and debate. It was in my very first tournament. I just finished speech 1 or speech 101 or whatever it's called. And I was like, I'm done. I'm never going to speech again. And my teacher's like, no, Michael, you're actually really good. Because for your final, you had to do an argument debate. And I kicked ass. And so she goes, no, Michael, you're actually really good. And I'm like, yeah, you're just trying to get me to. And she did get me to join the team. And I did do it. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow you away. That's so simple. And it puts all the power in your hands. Not only in dealing with narcissists, but in dealing with any kind of negotiation, dealing with any person about anything. Okay, so here's what it is. So it's a phrase that goes something like, I may not say it correctly, you may have heard it, but not applied it, because you don't really understand it until you actually apply it. And the phrase is, the person or thing who has the willingness to walk is the one who has the power. So if you come into negotiation, most people come into negotiation as, I don't want to lose, or I want to get the best deal I can get. Not me. I walk into negotiation looking for a reason to walk out. I'm looking for them to be rude to me. I'm looking for them to be totally unfair in the negotiation. I'm looking for, and they're like, nope, sorry, I'm not going to do it. And I walk up, whoa. That blows people's minds. They don't know how to deal with it, okay? The other thing is, if you walk into any kind of experience with the willingness to walk, all the power is inside you. It's in your hands, period, end of sentence. So this is something that, I don't know what the right word is. It's like I don't think this is the right word, but it triggers a default system or something in a narcissist where like, I didn't know. That's not in the manual, you know. It's like they don't know how to deal with it. So, and if you do it sooner, it'll really blow them away. Like, whoa, I'm not even at the discard phase yet. I basically picked up on it with my last one during the love bombing phase, and here's why. I'm an NLP trainer, and when he started to mirror me, I was like, the fuck are you doing? Because I'm gonna give you something to watch for. This is a little side note, but it's a powerful one. When you meet someone, just pay attention to how they talk, the words, the slang, the phrases, the way they talk. Just pay attention a little bit. And then if about 3 or 4 days later or a couple of weeks later they start talking like you, and they start using your key phrases and your key words and your values and stuff like that, and they say, oh, that's my favorite song, and you're like, really? Wow. What a coincidence, right? So as an NLP trainer, we're taught to look for these things and to use them to help people with therapeutic issues, right? A narcissist uses it to manipulate you and get in your mind, okay? So with me, the minute they started like mirroring me and using my phrases, I was like, and it was an awkward, like you could tell like they didn't know how to use them. They weren't using them in the right context. And I was like, my NLP brain went, beedaloo, like what the hell's going on here? And that's when I was like, oh, this guy's fake. I was like, this dude's fake. I was going to use the F word, but he was fake. And I was like, So the more I started to talk to him, and more, if I started talking about another word, use a word I've never used around that person before, and he started using it the next day, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I've known this dude for a long time. He's never used those words, but they don't use it once, they'll use it again and again, because that's how they get your unconscious mind to like you. It's a mirroring technique, okay? So when you start noticing people do that, I would get out right then. So let me go back to my favorite technique, the power of walking away. So I went into this argument and debate, my very first one, scared. I was in college. I was only 20, I think 21. I was young. I don't remember how exactly. I think I was 20. And I was scared. And it was like, she literally was like, well, the tournament's tomorrow. I'm like, yeah. And so we were going up against Sac State, UC Davis. I think it was Stanford, Berkeley, and it was a law school in San Francisco. I think it was UC San Francisco, or the other one, UCSF San Francisco. These were big schools. These kids had scholarships to go there for argument and debate. And this is my first time. And all of these people have been doing it since high school, and they're seasoned. This is like their second, third, fourth year. And I walked in, and here's what happened. Now, what they do is they give you a piece of paper, and it's all kinds of scenarios. Like, well, you're a farmer, and that person is selling farm equipment is going to sell a tractor, and you need to buy the tractor. Or for me, it probably was, I own a winery in Napa Valley, and this person wants to buy my grapes, right? So whatever the deal was, I was the person that was going to sell, and they were going to buy. And they were like, well, and they were going to give it, you basically have 10 levels, right? And the middle is 50-50, where you both walk away with 5 points, right? If you negotiate that, well, it's an equal deal, and you walk away, right? And so I didn't really know what the rules were. And they told us, like, there's no rules. The only rule is I think they give you 5 minutes to negotiate, or maybe it was 10, but a certain amount of time. There's a time limit, and you both have to sign it and write down the agreement on both your papers, and it has to match up by the time the bell is done. And there's a person standing there, and they will snatch it out of your hands. And if they're not both signed with the same amount of numbers on it, you both get 0 points, right? So the first guy came up, and he goes, and he gave me the very bottom, like, which was like 10%. So I'm like thinking, so I'm going to get 1 point and you're going to get 9. He's like, yep. No, they get 10 for that. I was like, yeah, sorry, bro. No, fuck, no. Dude, I know, and I even said it out loud, which was not smart. But I said, look, dude, this is my first tournament. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I know that's not fucking fair. Because I didn't really understand. Like, well, how do you know? And they kept saying, I remember looking at my teacher like, I don't understand. She goes, Michael, just get the best deal you can. So I was like, fuck it. Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to be there. I was intimidated. I was scared, and I was kind of pissed off because my teacher didn't teach me how to do this. We didn't even run through it for 5 minutes before it started the night before. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I was kind of pissed off at her. But I think this was one of her teaching strategies, because she did it again in another tournament. It was a totally different platform the way they did it. And I was like, what are we doing? You learn. And I learned something really powerful. So I literally... One of the rules is you can't cuss or you can't berate someone. And I literally out loud said, fuck you. And then you got 10 tables. You got a little table, them, you, and all these tables. And I happened to be the side of the table where we didn't move, and they had to move one table over after each round. And I go, fuck you. Yeah, it's not fair, and you fucking know it. They go, whoa, you're going to get disqualified. You can't cuss. I go, I don't fucking care. I don't even want to fucking be here. And that was my power. I didn't want to be there. And the guy's like, he started being cocky at first. And I remember 2 or 3 minutes had gone by, and they said, hey, you've only got 2 minutes left. I think it was 2 minutes left. And if you guys don't both have it signed, you both get 0 points. And I remember them saying that, but they kind of threw the rules at me. And I go, what? We get 0 points? And I think if you get 0 points 2 in a row, you're out. You're done. And you get to go home. So it's about 9 or 10 in the morning, and the tournament goes to a 5 or 6 at night, and then there's the awards ceremony. And I was scared. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. I didn't want to be there, right? And I go 0 points, and I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'm not signing, dude. He goes, no, you can't do that. I'm like, I'm not signing, dude. I go, dude, I don't even want to be here. He goes, no, I'll tell you what. I go, no, I'll tell you what, dude. You give me And I flipped it to where he only got 1 point and I was going to get 10 points. I go, no, dude, that's the deal. Take it or leave it. I go, dude, I literally don't give a shit. I don't want to fucking be here. And you were rude to me. I go, I'm not going to play this game. And that's what you do to the narcissist. I beat that guy. The next guy came along. Now, all he heard was, this was my first tournament. I don't know what I'm doing. He pulled the same dickhead move on me again. And I go, all right. And I took my pen, put it down, and go, I'm not signing, dude. And I said, dude, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't give a shit. I just want to go home. I go, so I don't care if we don't sign. He goes, no. So I literally did the same deal with him, and I got 10 points on that one, and the next one, the next one, the next one. Guess who won the gold medal? Me. First tournament ever. And it was all because I had the willingness to walk away. I didn't want to be there. He had to entice me. They had to make it interesting for me to be there. By the end of the day, I was exhausted. I was tired. Still didn't want to be there. And I got the damn award, and I thought, yeah, fuck this. But I ended up going to a couple more tournaments, and I took a second, and I took another first place, basically using the same technique, okay? So the person or thing who has the willingness to walk away is the one who has the power. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I'm going to do another video that's very similar to this, which talks about something that I add to this when dealing with a narcissist, okay? So if someone is being rude to you, if they're being disrespectful, if they're playing mind games. Oh, here's another one. One thing that I demand in communication with people is clarity. Now, we all know a narcissist on purpose makes it confusing, which means you get confused and there's no clarity. If there's no clarity in communication, if there is no clear two-way understanding, they understand, you understand, and they're working towards, see, a normal human will want to talk until there's communication. So here's a tactic that a narcissist will do. They'll throw something, okay, this happened to me just recently on Facebook. Somebody threw something, we were doing FaceTime or whatever they call it, and we were talking I was on the computer, I think they were on their cell phone, and she threw something out of left field, and I was like, wait, what? What does that have to do with this? Like, well, why did you say it? Oh, never mind. Like, no. Why did you say that? Now, this person had done this tactic a few times before, not a few times, but more. And I was at a point where, like, I'm not doing this. I go, no. I want to have clarity on where that came from. I'm not mad. I just want to understand. And they refuse to talk about it. That's right now, boom, I'm done. I walk away. I'm done. Well, they did it a couple more times with a couple different subjects, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I absolutely demand that. I tell people, no. I go, and here's what I will tell people. Because another tactic they'll use it is a form of gaslighting, but it's what I call a form of word salad. It's where they're arguing a subject or they're talking about a subject, and then after about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes or more, they slightly shift over. Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. Well, my last narc pulled this bullshit on me. First time he did, I caught him like, uh-huh. And I just wanted to see how far he would go. And then the next day, again, I was like, uh-huh. And he kept saying, oh, no, I'm not saying this. I'm saying this over here. And I was like, so you're doing that again, right? To be honest with you, the first time this happened, I thought they were schizophrenic, because that's a sign of schizophrenia is word salad. It's when you suddenly shift to a totally different thought. Now, this isn't technically word salad, but I call it word sentence salad, okay, paragraph salad. But what they'll do is they'll shift over. So when they start playing games like that, like, wait, I thought you were talking about this. And like, no, I'm talking about this thing slightly over here. I'm not talking about that. When they're losing an argument, that's what they'll do. But sometimes they'll do the same thing in just a regular conversation, because they're fucking with you. They're playing mind games. That's another rule. Absolutely no mind games at all. In fact, my first rule is when I'm communicating with people, if there's not clarity in a conversation, I will say, hey, we need to back up. What's going on here? That didn't make any sense. Like, why did you pull this in? And I'm legitimate. They might have a legitimate reason. Like, well, the reason, because a normal, healthy person will be like, well, the reason why I pulled this in is because you said this and that, and this means that. And then you're like, oh, okay. And now you got clarity. That's fine. I'm not saying people can't add things into a conversation. Here's another thing. If you're talking about A, and they shift over to B, and they shift over to C, and on and on and on, oh no. That stops immediately. Fuck no. If we're talking about A, we're going to talk about A until we complete A. And then we can go on to another subject. That's another one of my rules. And I will tell people, like, look, I don't play that game, right? And here's another one, is when they argue about everything, they disagree about everything. I just flat out don't do that. I just did a video on arguing. I think it was 2 videos before. Maybe it might have been the video before this. So I will call people and say, hey, look, man, I'm not the kind of person that just likes to argue. I go, I don't care what I go, I'm okay with you having totally different beliefs than me. I'm okay with that. Or totally different opinions or thoughts. That's totally fine. But I'm not going to sit here and yell and scream like a little child and just disagree. I go, if there's no clarity, I go, I'll tell you, you tell me what you're talking, and I'll listen with patience, and I want to hear everything you have to say. But if there's no clarity in it, what's the point, right? But the thing is, a narcissist wants to argue. I'm kind of going into the last video. They argue for argument's sake. So if people start to argue, and it's like, why are you arguing? Like, why don't we just talk like adults and add clarity? I walk, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, one of the things that I will do is, number one, I have the willingness to walk. And number two is, if people play this confusion game, they put doubt in your brain, they don't have clarity. Here's what I said to the last one. I said, hey, I gotta be honest with you, dude. It's almost like you don't speak English or something. I don't know if English is your second language. I don't know what country you're from. I knew he was from here. But literally, it's like, I go, we do this. Like, we never communicate with clarity. We never walk away understanding each other. And I go, I got to tell you something, that doesn't work for me as a person. I go, good luck with that. That's just not my thing. Maybe you can find people that are okay with that. That's one of my big pet peeves. It's not a pet peeve. It's a safety rule. It's a red flag, because that is the number one thing that narcissists will do, is they won't give you clarity in communication. I would hold on to that one. And if you realize this happens 3, 4, 5 times, maybe a week, I would be like, yeah, I'm out of here, because this isn't working. And to be quite honest with you, when I meet someone new and I notice like there's just this lack of clarity, is, for the most part, I've already got a foot halfway out going, yeah, we don't click, we don't connect. Women do that all the time when they meet a guy. I just took that on because it's a really, really smart technique going, it's like, we don't communicate, we don't connect, we don't click, so it's time to go. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. God bless you guys. See you soon.